Okay, this segment is going to be pre-injector change on this car. And I want to show you what the difference of, or why you need to change the injectors. And this applies for 1989 to basically 1992 GM cars, which actually apply to L98s, the 92 LT1, the ZR1, Vortec 454 trucks. And these injectors are the first generation of what they call the multec injector. And they have a problem. Basically, when they heat up, their resistance goes down and they start causing misses. And you will think that your car has bad plugs, bad plug wires, bad coil pack, bad whatever ignition type system it has. And that's not the case. The car will also almost have, as these age, a different running sound. They won't sound as crisp. It has a lot of issues. And when they get real bad, they can even get to the point to where the car won't even run. Well, you'll just have a dead cylinder miss, dead everything. Now this car is not bad because it's a 1,000-mile car, but it still has the signs of failing multec injectors. You can hear kind of a bump miss, and you'll hear it pop every now and then. Like here, there's a miss right there. It's hard to have. This has a Desert Development exhaust system on it. There it goes, pop. And on a ZR1 with the dual disc clutch, you'll even hear the clutch rattle when it does it. So if you have a ZR1 or an L98 car with a dual disc clutch, or even an LT1, and it's going bump up and the clutch is rattling all over the place, and you've driven yourself mad, there's your problems. Now, here's a car that has the 4th generation Bosch, that's going to go in these things, which are the Ford injectors, basically. So this car is set up exactly the same way. Now listen how crisp this car is. And that's the difference in these injectors. And it applies to that. Applies to L98s. So this car has real smooth running. And it's all on the injectors, because when this car started failing injectors, oh man, it ran bad. This car here, same way. However, on this one, we put the Delphi replacements on there because you kind of see them. They're actually more expensive. But on the ZR1, I'm not going to put the Delphi replacements in there. I'm going to use the orange Ford injectors. You can kind of see that already. You can't feel it, but you can feel it. It's boom, boom. And that's the injectors. The hotter it gets, the worse it gets. These are failed multecs here out of that 89 Callaway. So, like I said, that car was so bad that it just had like dead misses to it. This car here is only intermittent, but we're going to change them anyway. So that's the reason you need to change them. And again, it applies to not just the ZR1, it applies to 89 to 92 L98, 92 LT1, Vortec 454 trucks, anything that uses the gray multec injectors. Now, one of the things they did change in 93, because everyone likes to compare the early ZR1s with the later ZR1s, are the injectors. The two main things that I've noticed having both types of cars, 93 and later and 92 and earlier, are the exhaust systems are better on the later cars. So that's, that 405 horsepower versus 375. Well, the exhaust is probably the primary thing that did it, and also the injectors are better in 93. So that was an improvement. You really don't have to change the 93 to 95 injectors unless it just has age and wear problems with those injectors. But they don't have the inherent issues that these first generation multec injectors do. You can already kind of hear it popping a little bit there. So that's the main thing. So both my 90 ZR1s have Desert Development exhaust systems, which were an early version of it, but I've modified them both. This is a complete Desert Development with different tips. The other car we built an exact copy of the Desert Development ourselves, which actually looks nicer, but I can testify that the ZR1s, the 90 to 92s, definitely improved in performance with a different exhaust. 93 to 95, not so as much because the exhausts were better. So that's kind of the difference there. So this, again, it applies to the ZR1 90 to 92. So go back to the other car. I wish I could get it. You can hear the clutch rattle there, boom, 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 on a miss. It just, you'll think it's a plug. It's exactly like an old car with a bad plug wire or a bad spark plug and a miss, just ba 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 ba, like that. That's the sound. And now listen to this car. It's just absolutely a different sound. And that's the injectors. That's the only thing different on the car. They have the exact same mufflers on them. The exact same chip in the car. The Doug Rippey chip. They both have the same one. They both have the same K&N air cleaner. There's nothing different on the car. That's all that's done to them. And this car's got more miles. It's got 16, 17,000 miles on it. That car's got 1,000. So that's it. And there's a video we did on this. If you watch some of my other videos, this car barely even ran. I mean, it was just so bad, and the injector just, I mean, like a brand new car. So yeah. And how do you know this? This is just from years of experience doing this. You know, there's no code or there's no scanning. There's nothing that you're going to figure out. Now you can hear it. It's ba 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 ba. Hotter it gets, the worse it's going to get. So that's a multec diagnosis, and it just comes from experience and knowing that those are problematic. And a lot of people already know this, but people that are getting these cars or going back to these cars later in life may not. And this is a huge aspect with these cars, is I've seen so many of these cars get serviced. Like, you know, these LT5 plug wires are worth a fortune. They'll go change all of that out and put some aftermarket stuff on there thinking they're the problem. That's not the problem. They're very rarely the problem. It's always those damn injectors. And so just don't go changing parts to change parts when this is 99% of your problem. And the next video, we'll start taking this top off and showing how to do the injectors on an LT5, doing it the least intrusive way and keeping everything like it's never been touched.